Well, it's a robust project. So first of all, it's got scale, and we've only utilized about 22-25% of the resource in the pre-feasibility study, but that's enough for 25 years at 25,000 tons per annum production rate.
Hello, welcome to the Assay TV. I'm joined here today by Steve Promnitz, Managing Director of Lake Resources. Steve, good to have you with us today, working from home.
Yeah, absolutely. Like everybody in lockdown. Thank you for the opportunity. It's great to be online.
Well, yeah, no, we have about 1 billion people working from home, but as some recent news from you guys, Lake Resources shows that, business is still continuing during this time. But maybe before we kind of get into some of the details, maybe you could just give a quick overview of Lake Resources and your projects.
Okay. So Lake Resources has been around for quite some time, but it's been focused on lithium for a bit over 4 years. And we took our large position in the lithium triangle in Argentina, back when lithium and Argentina really wasn't a thing in late 2015, early 2016. This is a great part of the world to be in for lithium, because 40% of the world's lithium comes from Argentina and Chile, and it's all at the lowest end of the cost curve. But we wanted to do something different. We wanted to find a way where we could produce a premium product. And so about 24 months ago, we hunted around looking for a new direct extraction method that could produce a premium quality product that could be scalable and modular. And so we selected a group called Lilac Solutions out of California about 18 months ago. We've been working with them collaboratively through that time. And we're just at the stage now of releasing a pre-feasibility study to show using their methodology works efficiently. It certainly works on similar costs to other lithium brine projects, but we can actually produce a really high purity product and more sustainably, which is what the market is looking for. So that's what Lake Resources is about.
All right, and then with regards to the PFS that you just released, the project in question is?
So we're working from our flagship project, Kachi, K-A-C-H-I, which is in Catamarca province in Argentina. Right. It's one of 4 projects we have, but it's our flagship. We got onto it first, and also we were able to secure an entire basin there, 70,000 hectares of contiguous mining leases. And so it's a virgin project, but it's already got a resource that's in the top 10 globally and has a bullet for going a whole lot larger.
All right, and you just released a PFS that shows some pretty bright news, shows Lake Resources is, despite everyone working from home, you guys are still plugging away.
Well, it's a robust project. So first of all, it's got scale, and we've only utilized about 22-25% of the resource in the pre-feasibility study, but that's enough for 25 years at 25,000 tons per annum production rate. It's got an NPV that after tax, which is 50 times our market cap. It's in the realm of about 1.2 billion Australian dollars. 750 million American dollars, and that's using a fairly conservative lithium price, and it delivers an IRR of around 25%. So those sorts of numbers stack it up together with other lithium brine projects that are being considered. There's a few at the moment. The key difference is, because we're going to be producing a premium product, it gets a premium pricing. And because it's a more sustainable product, it's actually being sought after by the tier 1 battery makers and car makers.
And you were mentioning also just previously before about the Lilac solution. Just kind of maybe delve briefly, if you could, in
Sure.
how that
Okay.
process works within this PFS.
So in the lithium triangle of Chile and Argentina, where 40% of the lithium comes from, they all use evaporation ponds. So you pump salty water out from underneath the salt lake, you put it in a pond that's made of earth and lined with a membrane, and it sits there for 9 months, 18 months. And as the sun does its work and the water evaporates away, you concentrate the salts to a certain economic level, and then you separate out the salts and you take lithium out of that. Okay, so everybody's using that process at the moment. But there are a new a number of new direct extraction methods where instead of using evaporation ponds, you use a different approach. We looked at one particular type called ion exchange, and that's what Lilac Solutions uses. So as we pump it out from underneath the ground, we put it into a tank for about 2 hours. Inside that tank, there are beads, ion exchange beads, and they work like little Pac-Men. They hook onto the lithium that's in the water in that 2 hours, and then you can just release that water back into the aquifer. You haven't changed your chemistry. All you've done is you've hooked all the lithium onto these beads, you let the rest of the water go, and then we quickly process that, we give it a wash, and we produce a very high grade concentrate of around 6% lithium, which is direct feed then into a lithium carbonate plant. So it's more efficient, it's quicker, but best of all, it only picks out the lithium, so it's not picking out any impurities. And that's the sort of thing that battery makers want now.
Okay, and I also I saw a pretty interesting number that jumped out on the PFS, 62% on EBITDA margins. That's quite significant. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, of course, EBITDA is driven by what you sell your product for. And so we've used a conservative price of $11,000 a ton for lithium carbonate. Now, at the moment, if you're looking at spot pricing, you can get spot pricing anywhere from sort of $5,000 to $8,000 a ton. But premium product is still going out the door at $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, $13,000 a ton, depending on who wants it. Be that as it may, lithium pricing is going to be a little bit soft this calendar year 2020. But as we look forward, we're looking to be in production about 3 years' time. There's been underinvestment in the supply side, and we're going to be producing a premium product. And there are very few sustainable solutions or more sustainable solutions. So we believe that this is going to be preferentially selected. And that's why we've been in discussions and offtake partners for some time. So if you use $11,000, it's a 60% EBITDA. Use a bigger number, like some of the other PFS, DFSs around, then it's even better.
All right, and terrific. And I guess you've done this PFS. Next steps will be kind of doing a DFS. Kind of tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, so they're robust economics. So the logical thing is you go into a DFS. What we're going to be doing in the here and now, just in the next couple of months, is that we have samples of our brine from Kachi sitting at the pilot plant module of Lilacs in California. They're going to be producing samples out of there to get out to offtake partners and get them to sample and start the whole qualification process. Then we'll probably look to move a pilot plant, complete a pilot plant and move that to Argentina and having it running on site. Then we can get larger samples while we're doing a DFS, kicking off an environmental study. And so then we can move towards approvals as we complete those tasks. So look, it's pretty exciting times. We're ahead of the curve. Nobody else has a Lilac pilot plant that's going to be out in the front. We want to get them down into the heart of lithium country, and we're in the best location and have got a large project. And look, it's going to be pretty exciting times. And 15, 18 months time, we'll have these studies completed, and that'll be ready for construction finance. We've already initiated those conversations, and they're looking pretty encouraging too.
Terrific, and you might follow on with production later on, of course, at some time.
That's the intent. So 3 years would probably be the shortest time, probably a little bit longer, because first of all, we've got COVID-19, and we've got to get financing in place, what have you. There's always delays in a project, but the good thing is that that's pretty much in the sweet spot as we're looking for future demand. And as I mentioned, if you'd asked me even 9 months ago whether having a high purity product and the sustainability angle was really what the market is looking for, but in the last few months, we've really seen a bifurcation in lithium pricing. So there's a lot of lower quality product, and that'll just get driven by supply and demand in any given year. But there's fewer and fewer producers of a really high purity product, and that demand is increasing as we move to higher energy density batteries. So it's looking pretty exciting.
Terrific. Well, Steve, thank you for this. Thank you for joining us. We hope to maybe have you in a couple months or maybe later in the year, kind of update us on where things are at. Thanks for coming on.
That'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. So Lake Resources, our ticker code is LKE on the ASX, and on the OTC, it's LLKKF. Thanks so much.
All right. Take care. Thanks.